Hey, what's up? This is Scott with Level Up Tuts, and today I'm going to sort of wrap up our CSS lessons here. Okay, and what we've done in our CSS course is we've gone over all sorts of stuff from flexible positioning. You can now float things. You can make multiple columns if you like. I showed you about the box model. There's margin and padding, that stuff, and all of this stuff is CSS sprites, image replacement, just basically anything that you would need to create a sort of modern website with CSS. Now, of course, CSS3 allows for things like border radius, so rounded corners, gradients, drop shadows, things of that nature. And in the next lessons, I'll be going over some CSS3 things. And if you're wondering where to go from here, I would recommend checking out sites like CSStricks.com, CSS-tricks.com, that is. There's lots of great stuff on here. You'll learn a ton about CSS, and I recommend just practicing, writing a lot of CSS, trying to find how to do things, and then Googling as much as you can when it's not looking like you think it should. There's always the CSS IRC room. You can go on there and ask questions as well. People are usually pretty good about getting back and answering even beginner questions. But with these skills, you should be able to do all sorts of stuff. So one thing I would recommend is, besides just writing CSS, write your CSS and then go back over it and look at what you could do better. So let's say, for instance, in the last lesson, we went over sprites, and let's say we did something like this, and we had Drupal, and we had it at 0. This is violating a basic concept of CSS, which is don't repeat yourself, because we don't need this little bit of code, because by default it's at background 0, 0, and this little bit is taking care of it for us. So what you can do is you can come back, find things like this, and remove them. And not everything is always going to be totally obvious when you're writing CSS, and you may not know the answers to how you're going to do everything when you're writing it. So it's a really helpful exercise to go back through your CSS and see what you can change, and to reduce the amount of code you have to make it simpler to read, just to have it be less repeating. Another thing I would suggest is going through, I'm using Chrome Canary, but in Chrome it's pretty much the exact same, and using this inspect element that we showed you here. And what you can do in element style is you can click and add your own CSS to anything, right? And you can see it in real time how it's going to look on the screen. And then you can, from here, copy and paste it into your CSS, or you can even download the CSS file. This isn't actually a tutorial on inspect, so I'm not going to go over all of the details here, but you can go through and do so much with inspect to see exactly how it's going to look, and then add that code to your CSS, or better yet, you can play around with it in the inspect viewer to see how it's going to look and what kind of cool things you can do. Okay, so where to go from here? Write CSS, lots of CSS. Inspect your code, inspect other people's code, look at any other person's CSS. If you see a technique being done on a website and you want to use it, view their source, check their CSS, inspect it, and look through it and learn their techniques. Okay? So try all that stuff, and then we're going to come back. We got CSS3 tutorials coming up soon. You can go to Sass and Compass tutorials to learn what's so great about writing Sass in CSS. It's just awesome. So go ahead and do those things, and you will become a CSS master. You can do anything you want to design your own websites. As always, this is Scott with Level Up Tuts. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a comment on the video. Hit us up at Level Up Tuts. Let us know what you're thinking. Thanks a lot for watching.